Your Space Coast vacation is preparing for liftoff. Start counting down now. 10, 9, 8, 7. It's time for a beach vacay that feels like heaven. 6, 5, 4. Come explore Melbourne and the beaches. 3, 2, 1. It's time for some rocket-filled fun. Count down to your best beach vacation ever on Florida's Space Coast. Launch your planning now at visitspacecoast.com. That's visitspacecoast.com.
J360 Radio.
Hello, J360 Legion, and welcome to a J360 Mini Bite, hosted by J.M. Brady, and I am your host, J.M. Brady. So let's get into it. What's going on, people? Yes, it is that time again, and we're starting a whole new week here over at J360 Productions. And I'm going to tell you this, right? It's going to be a busy one because not only do we have what's going on tonight, we have the J-Man Show happening tomorrow, and we have another Power Play episode happening on Thursday. And then, of course, you got, well, I don't know. Do you all really deserve this? I mean, at the end of the, you know what, I'm going to save it. Yes, it is Jams Week. Jams is happening on Friday night. And every show, of course, happens at 10 o'clock p.m., even though I was a little late tonight. Hey, I had to get that dinner in. So, you got to give me at least a 10-minute curve, if you will. But yeah, guys, I'm back and we are doing this right now. So how are you guys doing so far? I know it's Tuesday. It's been at least one night since Tom Brady won the Super Bowl again. Whether you love it or hate it, I mean, he did do it. He's got 7 rings now. I mean, ain't nothing you can say about it. I just wonder what it takes nowadays, man. I mean, people are so gung-ho about Tom Brady right now. It's amazing. It's funny because, every time football season starts, they usually don't like him at all. They usually don't care for what he does. All this GOAT talk right now and all this, the greatest of all time and stuff. I'm not going to take away from his accolades. But, there's a lot of people that are saying that the refs had something to do with it, that, Deflategate, all this other stuff. And then, of course, some people just don't like Tom Brady. Me, on the other hand, I dare I say this, I'm always like this. I'm not going to knock the guy's skill set. I'm not going to knock his mindset in winning. I'm not going to do that to him. But, at the same time, I'm not exactly in love with him. I'm just going to be like this. Okay, he's got his 7 rings. Whatever. All I know is this. We managed to repel him from getting a 2nd ring over here in the Philadelphia Eagles side. And as a Philadelphia Eagles fan, I feel obligated to go ahead and throw some shade like that. Because for a while there were some Patriots fans that were like, oh, we see what happened is that when the Zach Ertz catch happened, it was like, get out of here. Shoo, beat it. They try to throw shade on us. Matter of fact, and this is when winning isn't everything. I mean, you would think winning's the only thing, but we have tried hard and failed in trying to replicate getting another Super Bowl win. We didn't even have the same squad after we were done doing that greatness there. And then also the whole thing with Carson Wentz and the deterioration of Doug Peterson's time in Philadelphia. It's a mess over here right now. But looking to see what everybody's doing, they're all praising Tom Brady and gravitating about that win, but they're also pretty much throwing nothing but dirt all over Patrick Mahomes. I mean, he didn't have a good performance, mind you, but, quite a lot of football squads didn't this year. I mean, it's amazing that we even had a season like we did, because I know everybody was afraid about COVID just shutting everything down. But when you think about it, Patrick Mahomes isn't a bad quarterback. I mean, he had a good squad with him. It just wasn't there that night. You understand what I'm saying? And then when you think about it, everybody's all riding that Tom Brady tip. I sit there and I think this. I'm like, okay, so if Patrick Mahomes went ahead and won another Super Bowl again, y'all be riding that tip too, right? Y'all be saying all that stuff, throwing all those Tom Brady memes out there. And I knew I threw one meme out. I should have threw another meme out because I was really making fun of the ones that were praising and all the people that were hating. See, I didn't have a dog in the fight. But as a football fan, I just sit back and I just look at it and I'm like, Yeah, and not even the commercials were that good. And then everybody who wasn't a weekend mark was just sitting there just like, this is it, huh? This is pretty much the second coming of Super Bowl 50. You just get through it. You try to celebrate the things that were interesting to you, but you just get through it. But yeah. But if you ain't worried about that, chances are you probably did something else. You probably caught up on some pretty good sleep that you missed out on. I managed to catch up on my reading a little bit. Sitting here going to have preparing for the holiday of all holidays, the holidays that where everybody says, I can't meet anybody, so I'm dating pizza, or I'm doing all this other stuff, or I'm all about self-love. And I'm like, you should be about self-love anyway. I mean, look, one way or another, Valentine's Day can either be good to you, bad to you, whatever you want to make it, much like any other day. Much like how the whole year, like everybody has written, everybody I know around here, not those of you that are in the creative game and stuff like that, but quite a lot of people have just wrote off 2021 because they're not getting the results that they want, or that they're always like, oh my God, it's such a horrible year. Joe Biden's president, blah, 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 blah. Any sort of thing they can find. It's amazing, right? Like, yeah, because things didn't go your way at this time, which, welcome to the real world, it usually doesn't. You just try to make it become that way if you can. Why don't you just focus on winning the damn thing? Like, you have 10 more months and like 2 more weeks to go. You know what I'm saying? We just have to get through it. But people complain every time Monday shows up. And the thing about Monday is, Monday comes every week, you spoiled ass. What are you doing? Like, I know it's kind of hard to say, but it's true. It's like one of those kind of things where people bemoan this month because of Valentine's Day or anything. Or they'll bemoan something else. Like when we get to July, they're going to bemoan that too because of July the 4th. They're going to find something to complain about anyway because some people just can't handle it. Or some people just fall apart about it. Or some people got to pull out the things of American lifestyle where like they'll talk about like all the problems in America. Have you made an attempt to solve any of these problems? Have you made an attempt to actually make some changes and step it up a little bit? If you haven't, shut up. But if you've tried, you got to keep going. One way or another. Maybe it's your approach. Maybe it's something that needs to be fixed in one way or another. It's just one of those kind of things. It's all about mindset, really. And then after a while, if your social circle's a problem, don't be afraid to do what J-Man does and blow it up. Like, sometimes you're just going to have to do it. Because there's some people in there that go ahead and they go on about their selves. And, at the end of the day, they're imposing and they're throwing all their weight onto you. You are nobody's punching bag or depot for this kind of stuff. You will take that, grab it, and send it right back to them. And pretty much just point out, like, all this stuff that's wrong. Don't let nobody use you. Don't let nobody try to pull an anchor on you. Don't let any of that stuff fall apart. But if you know you got to make certain changes, and that includes people in your life, take it. And all that cool stuff. Even with Valentine's Day. Like, I'm sure some of y'all have crushes out there and stuff. But you see, nobody's beholding or obligated to be with you. So it's one of those kind of things where, if you shoot your shot, don't be afraid to shoot your shot. Because there's quite a lot of people out there that will not take their time to do so. But they'll go and they'll make fun of other people for doing so because, hey, guess what? You did something that they didn't have, the guts to do it. And one way or another, if you get rejected or you get like the whole thing where it just didn't take, well, you know what? It just didn't take. Or somebody's like bemused and trying to play it off. And the ones that are, quote, too busy for anything, but they're sitting on Facebook posting memes and stuff saying like, oh, this is how relationships are. This is lows and all that stuff. Or they try to put you on blast about it. You can go ahead and say what you need to say about it. But the thing about it is, don't sit there and allow yourself to get abused by it. After seeing those kind of treatments and seeing those kind of attitudes, that just tells you all you need to know about those certain people, doesn't it? They ain't exactly romantic. They ain't exactly worth any of the salt. And then when you go ahead and you make your meme about them, I guarantee this. Their fan base will come along and they'll be like, oh, you shouldn't say nothing like that. That's not the way it's supposed to be. They're more open than need be. No. Trash begets trash. Keep that in mind. And just because somebody's really cute and all that kind of stuff, It's all about what that brain stem is connected to. You know what I mean? Whatever comes out of it. It's just like how some people are, knowing that this person might be married or knowing that this person has that whole double life kind of thing, they'll keep sending that stuff out there to them. And it's like, all right, fam, 5 minutes. Let J-Man talk to you. Let me tell you something. Okay, see how all this stuff lines up? See how things aren't all together here? You got to question yourself now. Are you watering a plastic plant? Because you might be. You might not be getting those results that you want. Now, here's how you'll do this. You're going to go ahead and you're going to work those thoughts out. You may have to bake a cake. And if you think I'm really talking about baking, you really don't know me that well, do you? Which I'll describe on the J-Man show sometime. I mean, like at the end of the day, it's a longer show. It gives me more things to talk about at that point. But, it's just one of those things. Don't be afraid of going through the motions when it comes to these romantic pursuits. It's not easy at all. It's an obstacle course. Things take, sometimes things don't. Sometimes at the end of the day, it was perfect in your head, but in real actual practice, it's not perfect at all. And you wouldn't want something 100% perfect anyway. Especially during these crazy times, and especially during people trying to figure out a way to make it through life. Like I said, the talk in town always has something about it. People will thrive off of embarrassing others for some reason. Like certain websites like the Shade Room and all that stuff. Like, stuff is funny. Like, certain memes and stuff like that are funny. Unless it happens to you. Unless you're the cuckold and all that stuff. Unless you're the person getting cheated on. Or unless you're the person getting rejected. Things like that. This is how, like, that proximity thing usually works. See, since this show is censored, kind of like the J-Man show is to a point, we'll call it the foolery. But if you really pay attention to what I'm saying on the outside of the shows and stuff like that, it's a whole different brand of an F word when it comes to this. That's what I call it most of the time. And you'll get to hear about that on the Hangout show because guess what? That's what I've been working on, baby. The Hangout show is coming. And all you are invited. And we're going to have some deep and cool conversations out of it. And I'll tell you one thing. It's going to be a unique kind of show because it won't just be a J360 Radio show. Oh, yeah. Those of you that are comfortable being on camera, you let me know. And let's go on ahead and go as far as we can go with this series. I'm thinking about it. And then as far as I'm concerned, I do have a standard co-host for it. And then I have another co-host for it. But the thing is, it's open on a rotating wheel so we all can have a good time. No matter who you are, if you want to be on a J360 show, this is the time to go ahead and let me know about it. And of course, email me, J360Productions@outlook.com, and put J360 Hangouts in the subject line, and we'll go ahead and we'll go from there. Because one way or another, this stuff has been experimental at best, and it's ready to go. We're going to hit the ground running with this one. So we're going to start that up next week, because that's going to be the show that fills in the gap when it's not a jams week. You understand what I'm saying? And for those of you musicians out there, I'm working on new ways to go ahead and push y'all to help you, get where you need to be. Just like when it's not jams week or anything, I'm going to go ahead and step that game up. I've actually been working on the album Spotlight feature for the website, and I kind of have a little backlog going on there. So pay attention to J360Productions.com because quite a lot of content will be on there, and it's probably not going to be on the YouTube or not on the, Spreaker or whatever. So you know what I'm saying? Just pay attention to the website because that's a lot of fresh stuff over there. And, I've been also working on the package for like the Patreon page, and that's coming along too. So, just stay tuned to a lot of things that I'm really, really creating here. Because, oh boy, stepping his game up, y'all. Like I said, I'm going to win 2021. It is not that bad. It's not going the way that most people intended to go, but at the same time, it's not that bad. So don't let this beat you yet. We got a whole lot of new stuff coming our way. Matter of fact, at the end of the day, what was your whole expectation for the year? And I'm sure it's of varying quality. And I'm sure that one way or another, you're probably saying, I just wish COVID wasn't around. Blah, blah, blah. I get that. But you see, the thing about it is we got to be smart about this and not do what a lot of people in Tampa did after the Super Bowl. But they were going to do what they were going to do anyway. I mean, sometimes you got to think this is at your own risk. And I hope that one way or another we do get back to where we need to be, but we got to be smart about this. Or let's just change the term. We have to be a little bit more forthcoming about this. You know what I mean? Instead of using hindsight all the time. But maybe that's just the way we as humans are, because we love practicing that hindsight stuff, don't we? Yeah. But that's a little bit of food for thought for you, because I got to get on out of here. It's getting close to the 15-minute mark. So y'all take it easy from now on. The J-Man Show happens around the same time, 10 o'clock p.m. tomorrow, okay? And we'll come back for another deep, dope discussion. But until then, this is the J-Man signing off. Y'all take it easy. Peace.
Your Space Coast vacation is preparing for liftoff. Start counting down now. 10, 9, 8, 7. It's time for a beach vacay that feels like heaven. 6, 5, 4. Come explore Melbourne and the beaches. 3, 2, 1. It's time for some rocket-filled fun. Countdown to your best beach vacation ever on Florida's Space Coast. Launch your planning now at visitspacecoast.com. That's visitspacecoast.com.